Hello.
Hello there.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Wow.
Brilliant. Hold on, let me just put my
Your
camera.
camera is too close so that we couldn't see your crown. Wow, you really made an effort to dress up today just for this interview.
So I decided to wear red, obviously, because of Valentine's Day and Chinese New Year yesterday. So I just wanted to be in theme.
Yes. Unfortunately, I couldn't see your crown because you're sitting way too close in front of the camera. But that's okay.
Let me
Let's
just fix it for you.
there. There you go. Perfect. Yes. How are you? You know, I'm so excited. First of all, good morning over there, all the way from London. By the way, okay, before we formally start, I can't wait to introduce you guys, to introduce you to my followers. I am interviewing with the newly appointed Miss Grand England 2020, Stephanie Wyatt.
Hello, everyone.
Yes. I'm so excited to reunite with this girl. As you know, I've seen her in person 2 years ago, and she really looks like a doll in person. So yes, so if you have any questions for Miss Stephanie, feel free to drop down your questions below, so I could ask those questions for you. So Stephanie, how have you been?
Oh, I have been really well, thank you. I mean, at the moment in England, like we are still in a lockdown, so we currently can't go outside and we're still adhering to government guidelines. However, you know, life keeps going on and we have to just keep preparing. Obviously, I leave for Miss Grand International in 2 weeks, so that is so exciting. I mean, I've been preparing for Miss Grand since last year in July, so I am more than ready and just to go and show who I am this year, and also, you know, show all my hard work that I've put into this year.
Oh, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. So, you know what's how excited are you to be competing in another international pageant?
So I am so excited. Obviously, this will be my second time competing in an international pageant. And last year I was so grateful for all the friends that I made across the world. I mean, I even still talk to my sisters that I met last year. I still talk to them to this day. And for me, I'm most excited about the friendships that we will make. However, I am so excited just to be on stage again. I mean, pageants have been on hold for almost a year because of COVID, and Miss Grand International will be the first pageant back. So that is such an exciting thing. I mean, there's a lot of fans ready just to see a pageant again. So that is what I'm most excited about.
I think you will be a hit in Thailand, considering your looks. Considering your look right now, wow, you really look like a Barbie doll. I think
Thank
you
you.
transformed more into a Barbie doll vixen. I don't know if you know if that sounds that makes sense, but yeah, right. I think your type of beauty is the type that will be a hit in Bangkok.
Do you know, a lot of people say to me, they're like, oh, you don't look English. And because my mother is Brazilian, so I do have that Latina flair in me. So a lot of people say to me, oh, you don't look English. And I'm like, well, I'm fully English. It's just my mom is Brazilian.
Yes. Oh, that's why. And you know how Latinos have been doing well in Miss Grand. So I feel like you're in good company. You'll be in good company.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's what I'm hoping will help me throughout the competition, is having that Latina side. Definitely, because the Latinas always do well. And, you know, if I'm half Latina, I'm halfway there, aren't I?
Yeah. But first of all, before we continue, can we give a shout out to all the people who are tuned in right now? So many people are watching. I hope you can read all. You can see all those messages. Hello, Adam. I'm watching all the way from Georgia, USA. It's 6 a.m. there. Oh, thank you for tuning in, Nurse Richard. Shunabao, I'm interviewing the current Miss Grand England 2020, Stephanie Wyatt. Yes. What, in your opinion, is the essence of beauty?
For me, the essence of beauty is from within. So I always say you can be the most beautiful person on the outside. However, if you're not beautiful in the inside, that really makes someone as a person, to me, ugly, you know. So I think inner beauty for me is the most important thing, because that shines more than outside looks.
Definitely, definitely. And, nowadays pageants are really, emphasizing that inner beauty and what they could do to their respective communities, apart from showcasing, of course, the physical beauty. So, I'm curious to ask, are all your bags and luggages already packed? As early as now. When are you leaving?
So I'm leaving in 2 weeks. So I will arrive in Bangkok, Thailand on the 28th of February. My bags, they have just arrived yesterday. So I had to order new suitcases. They've just arrived yesterday. So today and the next week will be continuously focusing on packing. However, all my stuff is in one place, ready just to go in the bags. I'm very excited for this. I know I've had to pay for extra luggage because you just can't fit all of it in, especially with the national costume. It's so big. I need more room for everything.
Oh, so how many luggages are you bringing to Bangkok soon?
So it says in our pack that we should only bring two. However, I'm bringing three, and also shipping a lot of my stuff over. So really, I'm bringing 3 bags, but I have about 4 big boxes being shipped over to Thailand for me.
All right. Of course, I want to ask you if you could reveal some snippets or details about your national costume. But
Sure, yes. So my national costume is something that has never been seen before, like by anyone. No one has done the same concept as what we have done. It moves, and also it has monuments of England all over. So when you think of that, you think, oh, it could just have pictures everywhere. But try to use your imagination a little bit, and you will kind of grasp the concept of what is going on in my national costume.
all right, that's nice to hear. I want to ask, how have you been training? How have you been preparing despite the lockdown there in London? Are you currently in London right now?
So I'm currently in Bournemouth, which is the bottom of England. I'm about 2 hours away from London. However, everything has been closed since December. So we've been on and off. However, everything has been full lockdown since December. And pageant training wise, it's very hard because you can't go and meet anyone. However, I'm so fortunate that I started filming my videos and doing a lot of my pictures in July last year. So on that side of things, I was very ready, and organizing my costumes, everything I did in July. So a lot of people have had time. However, catwalk training for hair and makeup, that has all been online at the moment because you physically aren't allowed out the house. So that's been very different in a sense. It's very good actually to see how COVID is really testing us as humanity, because we are so used to going out and meeting people, and being taken them rights from us is very testing in a way. And I'm very grateful we've had the opportunity to live life like this as well. However, it has been a very hard time for a lot of people, especially with mental health. And that's why you really have to keep a close eye on your friends at the moment, your friends, your family.
Yes. How is your family? Like, are they excited that you will be competing in another international pageant?
Yeah, so my family are so excited for me. They know how much Miss Grand International means to me. They've been watching me prepare since July, and they've been helping me prepare since July as well. So, whenever I get something new in, I'm like, oh, I need to show you guys this on me. Like, can you tell me your opinion? And I think they're just as excited as I am. Unfortunately, they won't be able to fly to Thailand as it is just too much of a risk at the moment for my family. But they will be watching from the screen, you know, and they are so excited just to see everything come together.
For sure, they'll be updated. They'll be
Yes.
inundated with a lot of updates on social media. Yeah, Queen Steph, greetings from Grand MGI. Thank you for tuning in.
Hi,
And
thank
then
you.
Shauna Bao already wants to ask your opinion about the current situation in Myanmar, considering the political standoff or situation that is happening right now. So she asks, if you were given a chance to speak to an international platform, what is your stand in what's happening in Myanmar right now?
So for me, I've been a huge advocate for what's happening in Myanmar at the moment. I do try and do my best. Obviously, I'm in England at the moment, so it's very hard for me to be able to do stuff. But with the platform I have, the social media that I have, I'm very fortunate to be able to reach a lot of people. So just raising the awareness at the moment is the most I can do physically. And I have been doing as much as I can. And my heart really aches for the people of Myanmar. It's a very confusing time because as humanity, we're already facing a lot of challenges. And with Myanmar going through the current political status that they're in, they are going through twice as worse as what the whole world is going through. So
Yes.
for me, if I was speaking to an international leader, I would just make sure that, you know, we can obtain some sort of quality of life for the people of Myanmar. I think, you know, I'm very fortunate to come from a country where we do have a very good quality of life. However, I really understand that's not the case worldwide, and it should be the case worldwide.
Yes, yes. I hope that eventually Myanmar will be able to resolve its own political conflict for the betterment
Mhm.
of everyone there
Yeah.
in the country. So, you talk about, I hear you, you talk about, spreading awareness. Could you kindly elaborate about your advocacy campaign for Miss Grand
Yeah.
International?
Sure. So my advocacy has run through my veins from a very young age. At age 5, it was my first time I stepped foot in a Brazilian favela. I heard gunshots. I seen women holding their children in fear. And for me, that was a pivotal moment which launched me on a lifelong ambition to end conflict worldwide. So in 2017, I started my own project where we made reusable sanitary towels for the girls of Kenya, which
Oh,
then enabled them to attend school because when it's their time of the month, they don't attend school. And that's social inequality, which is a huge thing for conflict. I mean, a lot of people are starting violence or starting wars on the basis of social inequality. So that was my aim to bridge the gap of social inequality in attendance in schools because for me, education is the most powerful tool we can use to change the world. And last year, I also started my preventative protection program for victims of violence. So, this is like a helpline and also a way of finding new ways to stop violence from happening. For example, it can be making sure that a street is more well lit than it was before to make people feel safe, or from removing them and spotting the signs of violence before it occurs.
that's nice to hear. Even in your own way, you have been trying to do something about your advocacy, making sure that your community, still, still gets something out of from what you have been espousing and advocating for. So, do you feel like you're competing in a right pageant at the right time, considering everything that is happening right now?
Absolutely. I feel like now is more important than ever, especially, you know, with the current situation we all face as a population. For me, Miss Grand International couldn't have come at a better time. I think this will definitely raise people's spirits, and where everyone is at home at the moment, they get to watch these girls' advocacies and, you know, really understand pageants more because a lot of people have a very bad perception on pageants, and they think, oh, it's just beautiful women, and it's really not. So like I said earlier, outer beauty is just a face, it's just a vessel of someone, but really the mind and the spirit is such a more important thing. And I've always said that words mean so much more than physical or videos or anything like that. The words always mean so much more.
You know, I'm really glad that, you know, you are thinking like that. It's just that, you know, I like that you have that kind of mindset about, you know, not just because you're a contestant competing for the forthcoming pageant, but what can you say to a lot of people who think that, you know, why are you still holding a pageant considering the times that we are living in right now? Don't you think you're kind of indifferent or insensitive to what is going on right now? So how can you address those people, or how could you prove them wrong?
So for me, obviously a pageant is not a beauty thing anymore. Like, it doesn't really focus on the beauty of a person as it did back in the 1900s. And it's, of course, it's important right now. I mean, a lot of people are suffering with mental health due to COVID, due to just being in alone. And these women who are going to the beauty pageant, we all have our own advocacies. We all have a platform for change and a platform for purpose as well. So just being that person or being a role model for someone in this time is more important than ever. More important than ever.
True, true. Wait, before we proceed again, your fan, Steph Wyatt fans, is waving hi to us right now. Hello, Steph.
Hi there.
Hello, Steph Wyatt fans. Thank you for tuning in. Miss Pageantry is saying, you're so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Even Mikhail Cherry Chevsky is saying, you're my queen.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Yes, as you were saying, you know, I can't believe, you know, I almost forgot how eloquent you are as a person. Have you always dreamt of becoming a beauty queen ever since when you were a child?
Yes, absolutely. So my mum said to me when we first stepped foot in the Brazilian favela, she said to me, Steph, you need to be the change you wish to see in the world. And from that moment, I always made little changes in my life, whether that was being environmentally responsible or being socially responsible, because for me, they are just as equally as important. So I'd always been doing that in my life. And at age 16, I seen an advertisement for a beauty pageant, and I thought, wow, with that platform, I could really take my work a lot further than I've already have. And I joined it and I won it. And I was just amazed by the reach I was getting, and also like the engagement people were giving to me, and being able to talk to even my nation. And, you know, I know firsthand that helping one person will not change the world. However, it will change the world for that person. So for me, that is enough. And I'm very happy with that.
Wow. And, you know, speaking of, yes, since you mentioned, you know, at age 16, you have already, you started studying for your college degree, which is international law. I mean, what made you take up that course?
Yeah, so I'd always wanted to be a lawyer. There's no explanation why. I just was always very interested in law. And so at age 16, I started my university degree, and I studied that completely from home. So I never actually attended a physical university like everybody else. I did it all from my computer. And by the time I was 19, I graduated my university, and I'm currently training to be an international lawyer. So for me, it was important. I think lawyers can make a huge difference in the world, whether that's, you know, introducing new laws or taking out old laws that are just not relevant anymore. And for me, being a change maker in my spare time, you know, I've traveled from Europe and worked in East Africa and also in South America too. So for me, it was important to be international, as for me, that is the biggest reach that you will ever get.
Wait, I have so many questions with what you just said. Wait, why did you prefer to study your course from the comforts of your home instead of
So for
really
me,
attending it in a physical in a university?
yeah, so the Open University was the university I went with, and they are a home-based university, so they don't actually have physical courses. And so normally the normal route in England is you go to college and then you go to university. However, with the Open University, you do not need to go to college, and it kind of was like a loophole. So I was able to do things quicker than you would in the traditional sense. So I thought, wow, if I can do this quicker, I'm one step ahead of the game. And I just went for it. And, you know, I succeeded. And I really feel like if your dreams do not scare you, then you're not dreaming big enough. And, you know, it really scared me at age 16, starting a university degree. I had no idea. And at the end of it, I'm so proud of myself. And I really achieved something that, you know, I didn't feel like I could achieve in life. So for me, yeah, it was all about dreaming big.
Wow, yes, it's really a huge achievement considering at how young you were then, 16, 17. So I
Yeah.
feel like right now, were you already, training or preparing for this pandemic, considering that all schools and universities are closed right now? Everyone is taking up online classes. So having been there in that situation and considering with our situation right now, would uh are you, so given your experience, would you be advocating for online learning? Because let's face it, a lot of parents or even students are protesting that they couldn't get as much learning as what they could get from a physical classroom setup because of this whole thing. And apart from that, you have to invest on technology, laptop, to make sure that you could get you could still get the access to what you are about to learn. So what can you say about it, given that you went through the same situation before?
Absolutely. I mean, I can understand the frustration of students who, you know, they've paid for their university tuition this year and they've never stepped foot inside their university. I understand their frustration. However, at the current time, adhering to government guidelines and saving lives is a lot more important to me than university at the moment. But there's always a way around things. So you know, I did a university at home and I've spoke to a lot of students who are in university at the moment. And they said to me, oh, Steph, I can't go to university. I'm really frustrated with it. And I said to them, do you know what? I did not step foot in a university one time and I had my degree. I had the comfort of staying at home, being with my family, and also getting a degree at the same time and an education. And, you know, we are very fortunate to come from a country, or if you are already in university, you are very fortunate to have an education at all, because there are people around the world that do not have that chance in life ever. So, for me, what I would say is that you really have to make the most of the opportunities you have, because there are people around the world that will never ever get the opportunity that we get.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, you really have to make the most out of what you have. And considering, even though, we have no choice but to stay at home and still do our respective responsibilities, we still have to make it work. It's up to you how to make learning interesting. I don't know, so you can probably, yeah, but okay, based from your experience, what are the benefits of studying from home apart from, of course, getting to be closer with your family? Because
So,
you could really be a poster girl for that. Because look at you, you're so well
yeah,
spoken. Like what Miss Crown International says. Like Stephanie Wyatt, she's so eloquent. She's a very eloquent speaker. You still have our hearts from the very start.
oh, thank you. So, for me, I would say the benefits are that you can study in your own time. You make it work around your schedule, and that's what I did. there are always opportunities in the future where you can physically go and train in the area that you have taken in university. So really there's no rush, you know, we have the rest of our lives to just prepare for what we want to do. And being able to study in my own time really helped me because I was able to do pageants, I was able to do all my humanitarian work and make it work for myself. So really, like I said earlier, it's just making the most of the experience and opportunities that we have at the moment and just making it work.
All right. Yeah. So, you know, since you mentioned that you are taking up international law, so so what's the career trajectory of that? So, once you finish that course, so will you be picking up high-profile cases from different countries? Will you be engaging in diplomat or foreign service?
So my goal, so obviously once I finish training, so you have to sit 4 seats. So you actually have to do like family, property, international, and you have to do different subjects to see, you know, if that's really the area of law for you. However, I've already been recognised by Her Majesty the Queen for the work that I've already done, and I received a letter from her. So I don't know if you can see this, but this is my letter from the Queen.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've had letters from the Queen. My aim really is to get in front of our government panels in England and even internationally, but really you have to work at that. You have to really put in a lot of time and effort in even getting in front of UK government. And once I've done that, I can extend my work over to international and, you know, even try and sit in the United Nations. That would be a dream for me.
That's for sure. I have I have confidence in you that you will be able to achieve those dreams for sure with your eloquence, brilliance as a speaker, as a lawyer, or in everything that you do. You for sure you will really achieve what you want. So you know, someone just mentioned you're so humble, Miss Stephanie. Yeah, she is very humble. Actually, during her previous international competition, a lot of people are saying, you know, she has no attitude. Yeah, that's how humble she is. And yeah, so uh, the Crown International is also adding, not everyone can speak and arrange their thoughts without buckling. So that's a test because she's a trained lawyer. She's so trained in speaking eloquently. She can really arrange and organize her thoughts cohesively without rambling or buckling. So yeah, yeah,
Thank
right.
you.
So I think it's a skill, and I think we can only learn that once we take up law. But you know,
No, honestly, for me, it's just all about knowing who I am as a person, you know, really understanding who I am and what I stand for. And I was able to discover that from a very young age. So, you know, for me, when I speak, I just speak from the heart. I just speak what I've always known. And it just works for me because, you know, I'm not pretending to be anyone. I'm just being my authentic self.
and for sure, the Thais will really love you for that. You know, your beauty is something that they will really kill for in Bangkok. Who knows? Maybe probably after the competition, you might stay longer because they will get you for modeling contracts or even jobs opportunities. You'll never know. Yeah, yeah. I'm already
That would be
foreseeing that.
amazing.
Yeah. So, uh, since you have been competing in pageants for so long, what makes you different this time around? What can you offer to the table this time around that now that you are competing in Miss Grand International?
So obviously time has gone on since I last competed, and time is only the really thing that can help you because you gain experience, you gain life experience, and also you develop more as a person. So I've developed so much as a person. I mean, even if you see the way like my styling has really come along and also my life experiences. So I've done more with my projects. And I have a vast background in eradicating human suffering. So for me, this this time around, I've had more time. I'm older, I'm wiser, I'm smarter. So I'm just ready to take on any challenge that really comes my way.
So do you think this delay in this whole pageant setup with Miss Grand International has served you well? Because it allowed you to become, because you talk about more life experiences, more maturity, more wisdom as we go through along this whole rough time we are in right now. So do you think
Yeah.
it's one of those positive outcomes that have?
Absolutely. I mean, we all have to be at home. I mean, a lot of the world was locked down anyway. So for me, I mean, yes, everyone develops with time. You really understand yourself a bit more, and what you're standing for, and even preparing wise by getting all my designs ready and just making sure that everything is in place. I mean, time always helps. The longer we have, the better. So yes, it has really helped. Absolutely.
So if it has helped, what has been the most important lesson you've learned during this time of pandemic?
So the most important thing that I have learned this pandemic, so my heart really goes out to the people that are losing families at the moment. And the biggest lesson I've learned is to make sure that your family are close, always treasure the moments that you have, because you really don't know when someone can be taken from you. And that's one of the biggest things I've learned, especially during this lockdown, is just to treasure the people around you and never take life for granted.
So do you think this is like, God has really allowed this to happen for this for our lives to make that one big reset?
Well, I don't know why this happened now, or what was the outcome of COVID should have been. I do think, my generation, your generation, we have never experienced anything like this, and, we have come together as a world. We've shown each other support. We are helping people in ways that we never thought. Um, so, yeah, I do think there are positives and negatives to the whole COVID situation. I mean, even understanding that being at home is essential is very hard for people, but you learn to make the most of your family while you're at home. You learn new things, and there's always an opportunity wherever you go, whatever you do. There's always an opportunity. So learning new skills for people have had to have new jobs in lockdown. So, I mean, yes, that is absolutely a benefit, new skills, new learning. But yes, there's always a negative and a positive to everything.
So let's focus on the positive. What new skill have you learned
Oh,
since the
so
lockdown?
actually would be social media for me.
Social
Because
media.
yes, absolutely. I mean, I've never really been much into social media as a kid. I never really was on the computer. I was always out and about, in my country or in different countries. So for me, learning the power of social media has been a huge positive for me. I've been advocating from my phone, and that's something that you don't think you can do. You don't think you can change a life from your phone, but really, there's endless possibilities.
So now that we talk about social media, do you think it's something that is so crucial, especially in a pageant like Miss Grand International, where you're gonna be competing soon?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, social media is essential these days. Like I said, there's always a positive and negative to anything you do in life. However, the positives are that you get to speak to people across the world, you get to research and actually learn your education from online, like I did. I gained my degree from online, and that's something that, a lot of people, even to this day, don't think that you can do. Um, but also there are negatives, so the bashing, the bullies
Yes.
online. However, we are fortunate to come from a time where we understand how to eradicate this sort of behavior. So I think Facebook, Instagram, they really need to step up and have common words that they block, or hate comments that should just be already in the system and just immediately blocked. However, but social media is such a powerful thing, and it's so important, especially in pageantry, because you only really teach people about yourself, or make people understand a bit more about you from social media until you get there. So a lot of people learn more about me in the lead up because of social media. So I'm very grateful for that.
So ultimately, it's positive for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So now let's shift gears. I'm so glad that despite the situation that your country is facing right now, it is still not dampening your mood as you compete and travel to the forthcoming Miss Grand International Pageant to be happening in Thailand. So what are you looking forward to this year's competition?
So for me, the most thing that I'm looking forward to is meeting my sisters from across the world. I've already been speaking to a lot of them privately on my phone, and learning more about them has been really great for me. I'm also looking forward to the Thai culture. I mean, Thai food is my favorite food in the world. Whenever they say here, oh, we should get a takeaway, I always say, please, can we have Thai? Because I am in love with the Thai food. So experiencing the Thai culture with my sisters, and learning about their cultures too, for me is so important, and that is the best thing that I look forward to.
Will this be your first time to go to Thailand?
Yes, absolutely. So I've been dreaming of going to Thailand for ages now, and I'm so lucky to have the opportunity to represent my country at Miss Grand International in Bangkok, Thailand. I mean, that is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I'm really grasping it with both hands.
So probably you jumped out of your seat when you learned the news that it will finally be held in Bangkok.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So we were told firstly that it was going to be held in Venezuela in October. So we were all looking forward to that anyway, because also Venezuela is an amazing country. But when they had the change in country to Thailand, I was ecstatic. I said to everyone in my house, I was like, I'm going to Thailand and I can't wait. That's such an amazing opportunity, especially to be in a pageant, in a different country. That is such a great opportunity, and I'm so grateful.
So have you started, learning Thai words, the traditions, the customs, even the hand gestures of the Thai greeting as early as now, as you prepare to meet, to be greeted by a lot of Thai fans in Bangkok.
Yes, absolutely. So I've been doing a lot of culture training. There are also foods like tom yum soup. And yes, I've been wanting to try that. I've never actually tried that. So, I've been doing a lot of research into even their national sports. They like Thai boxing over there, sadika for a greeting, and also all the hand gestures. Really understanding that, because for me, it's also about respecting the Thai culture too. As a tourist, as someone that's not from the country, it's always more appreciated when you do understand their culture more. So for me, making them feel comfortable is, at the utmost importance. So yes, I have been doing a lot of cultural training.
For sure, you will have a lovely time in Thailand. I have a feeling that you might extend your stay there once the pageant
Absolutely.
is over.
Well, that was the plan. See, at first, before COVID, we always said as a family, wherever we go, we will extend it for 2 weeks afterwards so we can travel the country. However, I will not be with my family, but yes, I do hope. I mean, even if I was to win the Miss Grand International crown, I will be staying in Thailand. So that would be absolutely incredible.
I think you will definitely place high, because you really seem to be the overall package. Not only you hit the MGI prototype in terms of beauty, but you really speak well. So definitely you will breeze through the speech rounds or even the final Q&A once you probably reach that stage. There's no doubt, because a lot of people are commenting right now, Crown, hold on. Crown International is saying, Stephanie, you can really see in the way she speaks that she's so sweet. You can see nothing is holding her back. Very true to herself. Yeah, I think the Thais will really fall in love with you once they see you in person, especially with the way you speak and the way you smile. Yeah, and speaking of smile, don't forget to smile all the time because they love that. Asian,
Absolutely. I
yeah.
mean, I remember being in a pageant before, and I was smiling so much that my cheeks were hurting. So I'm hopefully want to get to that point again because, like you said, the smile is something that someone first recognizes you by. So yes, for me, it's so important to be smiling, be happy all the time, and just being grateful for the opportunities we have.
So even if you're tired already, you still have, even if you're tired already, even if you lack sleep because of so many activities happening, you really still have to smile. That's the key. Yeah. So that because a lot of pageant fans will be talking about you and start posting your photos, videos on social media. That's how things will roll once the pageant starts. So, okay, let's shift gears. We now go to the second part of our interview where I ask you light, fun questions to gauge your personality. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This will be very fun, and yeah, just to gauge your personality because we've been talking about serious stuff during the first part of the interview. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Okay. What's number one? Which song lyrics best describe your life right now?
So there are many lyrics from songs that would describe my life right now, but for me, I don't know if you've heard the song "Take on Me," and it's yes, exactly. So I'm ready. I have a positive mindset at the moment, and I think that's the only thing that is really getting everyone through. So yes, take me on, definitely.
Don't you think the 80s have the best era when it comes to music?
They absolutely do. I mean, songs nowadays are just not what they used to be. They're not as meaningful. So yes, whenever I refer to a song that really means something to me, it's always from before the 2000s, definitely.
Exactly. No, I also feel the same way. So, okay, what three words best describe you right now?
So I'd say that I'm a very tenacious person. So whenever I set my heart to something, I always set out to achieve it and I never fail. And if I do fail, I try and try again. You understand? So, whenever you do fail in something in life, always try again because you set out to succeed that thing and you will always feel a self-content from achieving that thing. So yes, very tenacious person. I'm very passionate with whatever I do. I put my full self into it, and also very community minded. I'm still, even from my phone, working a lot for my community at the moment. So yes.
And we can all see that in you right now, even without you saying about it. Yes, those three words perfectly describe you.
Thank you.
Since we've been talking about helping your community, helping one another, here in Miss Grand International, talking about world peace, ending war. Now, I want to ask you, what is the bravest thing you've ever done for a friend?
So mine I wouldn't say was for a friend. I would say it's for my mum, but she's also my friend as well, obviously. She's my best friend. So my thing would be when I was 5 and I accompanied her in the Brazilian favelas. We did hear gunshots and we seen people fearing for their lives. And just being by her side, even though I was 5 years old, for me, I think that is the bravest thing I've ever done in my life. I was also scared. I was also worried for my mum, for me, for my family. But yes, that is one of the bravest things I've done in my life.
You should highlight that in your interview in MGI. I think that's
absolutely.
very powerful. If the pageant owner hears you that or the organizers, they will easily be drawn to you and they will really listen to your story. Because, your story and what the organization is advocating for, it really,
it
goes
harmonizes,
right
definitely.
smack with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for my Stop the War and Violence video I submitted yesterday, I do talk a lot about my life experiences and also being in the Brazilian favelas. So I hope that helps the Miss Grand organization understand me a lot more, and also the public too, because you can't even judge a book by its cover. You never really know what someone's been through until you listen to their story.
Yeah, exactly. So next question. If you could invent one thing, what would it be?
So if I could invent one thing, wow. If I could invent one thing, I think it really would be worldwide happiness. Or are you talking more in the sense of it like a invention, as in like a computer or something? um, if I could invent a physical thing, it probably would be a food that you eat and it keeps you really healthy, but you don't put on any weight. It keeps you in the same exact state. Because for me, food is such a huge temptation. And especially with Thai food, I could probably eat the whole menu. So,
Someone's about to gain weight a day after arrival.
exactly. So yeah, if I could invent a physical thing, it probably would be a food that keeps you really healthy, keeps everything and gives you all the nutrients you need, however does not help you put on weight.
But you know what? There are other food in Thai cuisine that are healthy. Tom yum soup is one. Even the spring rolls, or even there are other Thai food there that could be considered healthy, so that you
Yeah,
could
I
keep
mean spring rolls is one of my favorite too.
fresh
um,
spring rolls. Yeah.
I love them. And here in England, we have people making Thai food, but really it's not the authentic Thai food that
Yes,
you get
yes,
in
that's what I'm about.
Thailand.
Yes, that's
So
what I'm
I'm
about to say.
very, very excited to experience the authentic Thai food from the Thai people.
Yeah. All right. So next question: if you were given 1 minute on national television, how would you use it? Just 1 minute.
So I would actually stress the importance of eradicating social inequality. So being nice to your peers, being grateful for what you have in life. Because 1 minute is really hard to get across your advocacy and get people to believe like what you believe in too. So I would just stress the importance of, being nice to people, understanding people. We're all different. So we have to, embrace that. And I think a beauty pageant really embraces, different types of beauty, and that's one of the most amazing things. And if we can get people worldwide to do that, I mean, we're a step further in the right direction.
Yeah. How to responsibly use social media. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, my next question. Since you've been, I consider you an achiever already, considering what you have accomplished, even at the age of 21. What for you is the definition of success?
Oh, so the definition of success for me is happiness, self-contentness. If you are happy and you are very content with what you've done in life, then you are successful. Success doesn't mean money, and I think a lot of people think that being successful means that you're, this famous person who has money, who has all these things, but really that person could be miserable. So is that really success? No, not for me at all. So I think just being happy with the place that you're in is the definition of success to me.
Wow, you speak with so much wisdom and maturity. I mean, come on, are you really 21 years old?
I
Wow.
know everyone says that to me because I feel like because I had to grow up from a very young age and what I've been through in life, I feel like I just had to grow up. And a lot of people say to me, "Oh my God, you're only 21," and I'm like, "Yeah." It's very hard to believe because I do feel mentally a lot older than that, but I think it's definitely just life experiences that you've been through just really shapes you and makes you the person you are today.
And considering that, I'm even surprised that you already are reaching that kind of wisdom and maturity, considering that you've been studying from the comforts of your home, not interacting with everyone else while
Yeah.
studying. So wow. So Wow, you must be hanging out with the right type of people, for sure. So my next question is, if you have a choice, would you create world peace or end world hunger?
So this is a really difficult question because both are very important topics right now. I mean, around the world there are 690 million people dying from world hunger. So that is a huge thing. However, I feel like if we achieve world peace, I mean that really is the definition of ending suffering worldwide. So hunger is suffering, war is suffering. So I feel like world peace is more important because really peace is, you know, being in a tranquil state and being, you know, just being at peace with everything. So for me, world peace is definitely more important, because that is an umbrella and it holds hunger and it holds suffering under it. So really, yeah.
Or you could say, yeah, I prefer world peace so that I could end world hunger
Yeah,
eventually. Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So since you're taking up law, if you could change one thing about the world right now, sorry, if you were to create a new law about the world we live in right now, what would it be?
So, one of the laws that I would introduce, and I've always been a big speaker on this, would be to end the death penalty in countries. I mean, we are very fortunate not to have the death penalty in England. However, I feel like a lot of people commit crimes because they do have a bad mental health state, or you know, they're not understood as a person. And we are so fortunate to come from a time where we understand mental health and we have the research behind mental health. So really rehabilitating people instead of killing them. I think killing them for a crime they've done is very violent and not necessary. We can rehabilitate these people and, you know, give them the right medication or give them the right chance in life to change, because I really do feel like people can change. You know, there's always a reason why people do things, and we understand that more now, especially with science and research. I think it's, yeah, that for me would be one of the biggest things.
Yes, true. Okay, we're down to my last few questions. I can't believe we're ending. All right, so since we always keep talking about world peace and inner beauty in beauty pageants, if inner beauty is really emphasized in joining beauty pageants, then why are there still physical requirements when you
So
join?
I think for beauty pageants, the only physical requirement that is necessary is the height aspect. But I mean, even now, I do see a lot of girls under the height requirement, and you know, pageants are very relaxed. I mean, they don't really care about this sort of thing anymore. I know it's there on paper, but you know, it's always been a past thing, and I don't think it's the present, and I really don't think it's the future either, because you can be a leader no matter what height, no matter what size, no matter what skin color you are. You just have to be an inspiring person, and the goal for an international crown is to lead and inspire. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just because it's an old rule, and you know, no one's ever reviewed it and thought, oh, we need to take that out. It's just always been there, but really it's not that much adhered to now. I mean, I've seen a lot of girls who are under the height requirement, and you know, they are still inspiring. It doesn't really matter who you are or what you stand for. So
Yeah, the beauty standards around the world is changing right now. It's
yeah,
becoming more
absolutely.
diverse, more inclusive, not just what we got so used to a decade ago or like a few decades ago, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from the 1900s, beauty pageants were a completely different thing. And I feel like from the 2000 onwards, beauty pageants have really transformed and really become something that they never used to be. Because I have a lot of people say to me, oh, wow, beauty pageants are still a thing. And I'm like, yes, and they're more relevant than ever.
True, true. Yeah. So, second to the last question. MGI slogan, Miss Grand International slogan is Stop the War. and violence. What do you think is the biggest enemy or threat our world is facing right now?
To be honest with you, I think the biggest enemy we face as a humanity are us humans. And especially from the 1600s onwards, when social inequality was introduced, so the slavery, racism. For me, I think that was one of the biggest enemies that we faced of all time. And really, that is a big thing, a part of my advocacy and also my humanitarian projects, is eradicating that social inequality, because it was a social norm at the time, and I think a lot of people carried it on when it shouldn't have been. And now we're getting to a time where, people are starting to realize, and children now are also being taught, these are not the ways of the world, and this is not how it should be. And, children are quick to follow on the work we started. So, I think it's all about just the right education for people and eradicating, any of the past bad situations we've had.
I like your answer. I was expecting a different thing. I was expecting you would answer the pandemic, but then wow.
Yeah, I think
You
yeah,
talk about something else which is, as profound as what we are, experiencing right now. Wow, social
yeah,
inequality
absolutely.
dating back from the 1600s. Yes, wow.
I think that it's such a big issue, and people suffer, and that is a type of violent social inequality. So I think that there are bigger things that have happened in the world, but the way I like to look at it is that's in the past, and it's not as much as in the present. However, we can always make a change for the future.
Yes, I absolutely agree. So, last question. Oh my God, we're ending. So, we keep talking about Miss Grand International, and I can see in your face how excited you are to set foot in Bangkok very, very soon. So, my last question is, why should you be the next Miss Grand International?
So I should be the next Miss Grand International. With my vast background in eradicating human suffering, I've tested ways which work in ending suffering worldwide, and I've experienced it firsthand. So for me, I'm ready to take my projects to the next level. The solutions are out there, and the change is ready. So I think that I would be the best Miss Grand International, because I'm ready to take my projects to the next level.
And on that note, Miss Stephanie Wyatt, thank you so much for gracing this interview. I had such a blast getting to know you for the past hour. I can't believe we spent an hour just getting to know each other and, reacquainting ourselves with one another again. So, last question. Can you give a shout out to all your followers and supporters, Stephanie Wyatt fans, and all the other fans who have been rooting for you, cheering for you in this forthcoming competition?
Absolutely. So I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has supported me in my journey. I mean, the support this time has been overwhelming, and really that is what is pushing me to go forward and really do it for you guys as well. Please still continue. If you don't already follow my journey, please follow me. And just support me. I think that is one of the most important things, especially in this time of the world. Just be kind to your partners, to your the people around you. So thank you so much again, and thank you so much, Adam, as well, for interviewing me. It's been a really great day, and I hope you got to understand a little bit more about me as well. But yes, I'm very grateful for the opportunity too.
I wish you could. I wish you would. I hope you could upload more videos of you speaking, or anything that showcases you in motion. Because I feel like you're more beautiful in motion. And wow, thank God, thank you to Miss Shandy for allowing this interview to happen. I can't believe that I've just spoken to one eloquent lady again. You know, as we all know, Miss Grand International is always heavily is always how am I supposed to put this? Latinas usually dominate the pageant system, but it's so refreshing to see someone like you, someone from England, who I think has the potential to go further, to go the distance in the forthcoming pageant, especially after listening to your advocacies, what you stand for, what you have been espousing for. Wow, no doubt the pageant organizers will really, really, really love you. I'm definitely sure of that. Yeah, so thank you so much, Stephanie, once again. This has been a pleasure. You know, it's one of the best interviews I've had because I've learned so much from you. I got so inspired considering that you've been accomplishing so many things, even at such a young age. I think I might have a different view about online learning, considering that wow, even online learning can produce a stunning queen like you right now. So, virtual hugs and kisses all the way from Manila. And thank you so much, Stephanie, for gracing this interview.
Thank you, everyone, and see you soon.
Stay safe and hydrated.
Stay
Take
safe.
care.
Bye bye.
Stay
Thank
safe.
you.